Hey YouTube, my name is Michelle, and in this video, I want to talk about my journey to femininity. I want to start this new series about my journey to femininity, how I got started, what made me get started, and the tips and tricks that I have developed throughout the way. A little bit about my journey. It's so weird calling it a journey, but during the pandemic, I was watching a lot of YouTube videos, and I came across this one YouTuber called Dr. Michelle Daff. And she was doing a Bible study about Esther. And then I saw her other videos. I started looking at her other videos, and it was talking about femininity. I used to think I knew what being a feminine woman was until I started watching her videos. And I was like, oh, I have no idea. I have no idea. I don't know. Who am I? Who am I? What I thought femininity was basically you're just a girly girl. Like if you wear pink, if you're a girl, if you wear makeup, if you get your hair done, all the things. I thought that's what a feminine woman was. And I learned very quickly that that is just the bare minimum, the very, very bare minimum. I also had in mind that being a feminine woman was a sign of weakness in that mindset. I was around 25, 26 around this time. So I had like this very, not screwed, but I had this thought that femininity meant that you were weaker. I never heard anyone talk about femininity growing up. I never had anyone show me how to be a feminine woman. I just knew that I liked girly things, and I thought that automatically made me a feminine woman. And it just, no. I didn't realize that you can have masculine energy and still like do all the girly things until I started watching her videos. Then that took me down a whole rabbit hole of just like feminine videos. I watched, I think a few videos from Karina Lude. I love her. And I can't think of any. And then I'm going to insert another name here. I started watching her videos as well. And it just brought a perspective that no one's ever taught me, that I've never heard of about being a feminine woman. Now, the way I view femininity, if you're looking for like a hypergamy type of situation, if you're looking for like how to manipulate a man to do X, Y, and Z, this is not the videos. These are not the videos for you at all, because I'm not teaching that at all. Back to Michelle Daff. When I found her, she was talking about the book of Esther. She was doing a Bible study about this book written by another Michelle. And they were talking about how Esther used her femininity. If you ever read the book of Esther, I'm not going to go into it, but if you have time today, read the book of Esther. It's not a really long book, but it talks about in the book how Esther used her femininity to talk to the king, how she used her femininity to persuade him to save her people. It wasn't a weakness, but she used her strategy. She used her feminine strategy, which I really loved because it made me lean more into my femininity. I don't know if other cultures feel this way, but as a Black woman, I know subconsciously we're told to be more masculine. That's why you see like a lot of Black women on TikTok especially. So I think some on YouTube talk about having a soft life, living a soft life, and how they're trying to convert their brain into not being masculine. Because I feel like as a Black woman, we're told to lead. We're told to do this and be strong, and everything's on the back of Black women and all these things. This is the things I've heard growing up as a Black woman. And I guess I had those things programmed into me subconsciously to the point where I thought like, yeah, I could be girly, but I still had to be like masculine. Like I had to be masculine to protect myself. I had to be masculine to do X, Y, and Z. Don't get me wrong, you do need some sort of masculine energy depending on what circumstances that you are. Michelle put it this way, like when you're at work and you're like working like a business or something, like sometimes you'll have to be in your masculine energy, or if somebody's trying to harass you or something, stuff like that. I didn't realize I was in my masculine energy so much, and I never saw being a feminine girly girl, acting like you're weak type of woman was a superpower. I always saw it as you're lesser than, and that's just how I was, not that how I was raised, that's just how I perceived it subconsciously. I didn't realize I had that thought process until I did some reflection and evaluation on how I view feminine women. So after all of that, I did some reflection and I decided that I wanted to become a more feminine woman. I didn't realize how much masculine energy that I was portraying into the world until I did some self-reflection, especially during quarantine. I feel like that was the best possible time for me to really just dive into who I am, what I expect, and what do I want my outcome to be, and what I think a feminine woman is. Because I was all about the makeup, the hair, the heels, the dressing cute, and all the things, but I still had a masculine type of raw to me that I didn't want anymore. It wasn't until I was talking to some of my guy friends. At this time, I was hanging out with a lot of girls and a lot of guys, or a few guys. I'm the younger sibling out of all my siblings, but I do have a brother that's above me. And so me and him used to hang out a lot when we were younger. He's like 7 years older than me. So always loved being around my brother. I would switch because I had cousins that were guys too, and I would get jealous that my brother would hang out with them and like be bros with them, but with me he wouldn't do the things that he would do with them. So I like made myself into a tomboy, and I would turn on this like masculine type of, yeah, what's up, bro? What's good with it type of energy. And I did that subconsciously to like guys all the time, like even my guy friends, my brother, my cousins, all these things. And that wasn't me. Like, that's not me naturally. Like, I am very like, oh my gosh, what was me? And I stopped doing that because people made it seem like that's a weak thing to do. Don't be like that. Don't be soft. You gotta be hard. Don't act like you're weak. You gotta be strong. All these things, right? In the right context. It wasn't until I was doing these evaluations and one of my guy friends came up to me and he was like, yeah, Fee's one of the bros. Yeah, Fee's just like one of the bros. She ain't like the girls. She ain't like the girls. She's like one of the bros. Flew me into, I was radical after that. I was like, okay, I gotta dial it back. I gotta do some reevaluation. Y'all are not about to bro me. I don't want to be that girl, and I'm not that girl. And so I changed my whole entire, not personality, because I'm still me, but I changed that aspect of me because I didn't necessarily like that. I did want to come off more feminine. So I did a lot of research on what feminine women did. How do they portray themselves? How do they walk? How do they talk? Because when I was younger, I did things like that. Like I did like research on how to like walk in heels and how to put on makeup and all this stuff. But I never really just looked up how to be a feminine woman, because it is an art to be a feminine woman in that aspect. In this series, I want to talk about my journey becoming a feminine woman. I'm still on my journey. I feel like I'm growing every day. And I want to talk about what I've learned, the things that have changed, the things that I've developed, what I benefit from it. Because I went from, oh, I'm such a strong, because I work out. I went from, I'm such a strong girl, I could lift X, Y, and Z, I'm this, I'm that, da, 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 to, oh my gosh, I can't lift that. Can you lift that for me? Thank you. Asking for help, like all the things. I'm going to talk about all the things. Asking for help isn't a weakness, that is a strength. Complimenting, posture, how I dress on a budget, the things that I do on a budget, and how I walk, how I talk, the shows that I've watched. Because watching shows now in the lens of a feminine woman, when I tell you, Claire Huxtable exudes that. She's a strong woman, but she's also very soft, very, don't do that, sweetie. Don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love her. She's a great example of a strong feminine woman. Because a lot of people think being a feminine woman is dressing in frills, wearing pink, all the things. When I think of a feminine woman, I even think of Lisa Bonet. She's feminine in the way that she walks, in the way that she talks, in the way that she looks at you. And she's not in frills and pink. She's very much earthy type of woman. There's so many different categories of woman that you can't put us all in a box. But femininity, I feel like, is very consistent in what you're trying to portray. Come along for this ride. I cannot wait to read your comments, interact with you, and make new content for you. I'm really passionate about this, especially as a girl that didn't know that how powerful being in your feminine energy is, and that it's not a weakness, that it is a superpower. It's a God-given superpower. God made us for this. If you ever look at when women in the Bible use their feminine energy to be great, you know, Esther, Ruth, Deborah, the list goes on and on. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.